Today I'm heading to the southeast region of Nigeria. This is a 2-hour journey from Port Harcourt, River State to Owerri, Imo State. This is supposed to be a 2-hour journey, guys, but the region is heavily policed and militarized. You have to see lots of police checkpoints, military checkpoints. The moment you're just stopping at one, you can visibly see the next stop. It is that bad. What should be a 2-hour journey ends up being like a 3-hour journey. Now I am in Owerri. I'm happy. I'm finally here. I didn't do much at my parents' place. I spent 2 nights here. My children were happy. They were playing from upstairs to downstairs. They were just everywhere. I didn't even pick up my camera till I left. I didn't feel like filming. Yes, I'm on my way back to Port Harcourt, as you can see, and I'm having a look around Owerri. I see these places, I've seen these places, I've known them, I know these places so much, but it feels good looking at these places again. Yes, Owerri, this is Owerri. Reminds me so much of the former governor with all the things he did, like the Freedom Square. Well, from Owerri, I'm heading back to Port Harcourt to pack my things. We're headed to pack our luggage, get everything fixed, and head back to Saudi Arabia. Yes, this is Port Harcourt Road in Owerri, Imo State. And that's it. Finally, we made it to Port Harcourt. You can see if you've watched my other vlogs, these routes are familiar. Now in Port Harcourt, and having finished the major things we are supposed to do, like the bank activities, we headed to the stores to get cereals, Milo, Ovaltine, most of those Nigerian things we usually have, growing up. But I can't seem to find them in Saudi Arabia. And to be honest with you, I feel they are even cheaper, like the cereals are cheaper in Nigeria than here in Saudi Arabia. I rarely buy them in Saudi Arabia. Now, my brother-in-law was able to help us get some fish. He did this shopping while we were away in Imo State, and that was so thoughtful of him. That's so thoughtful of him. Thank you so much. If you ever watch this vlog, thank you so much, Prof. And this fish doesn't come cheap. Look at them. We had quite some, and we had a lot of other food stuff. I didn't get to buy the major Nigerian soup stuff because I feel I had so much of them in Saudi Arabia already. And the next morning, we were headed to the airport to catch a 7 a.m. flight. Guys, we drove as fast as we could to meet up. On getting to the airport, or the distance, almost some distance to the airport gate, we found out that there is a protest ongoing. They said the women of Omagwa, that is the community where the airport is sited, are protesting.
Finally, they've opened the gates. Like, we spent almost, what, is it 1 hour? We've been here for like 1 hour. And it's getting hot, so it's time to move. Hi, Nigeria. I hope the flight is still there. And I hope I'm able to make it to a connecting flight today. I'm sweating.
We were not expecting to have a hitch on this journey to the airport. We felt we'd just drop off at the airport and continue our journey. But with this protest, there was no fuel in the car. The fuel in the car was not enough, and we were up sweating. Finally, we heard they've opened the gate. And at the point, it stopped again. No movement. We were hanging around. I was really praying they get this gate open so we can at least make it to the airport and know what's going on. Because if we miss this flight to Abuja, that means we are going to miss the other 3 flights. Guys, I couldn't even bring myself to think of how much it costs to book flights. If you check around, you know how much flight tickets cost. And imagine missing 3 flights. Well, in the end, they let us know. At this point, we were so hot. I needed to get on the flight. My children were uncomfortable. My baby was uncomfortable. He tried to control himself the best way he could. But well, I was praying, God, please let this flight be there. All things work together for good. And when they finally let us in and we got to the airport building, everything was just in a rush, in a rush. I couldn't film. I didn't even remember I was filming. I was vlogging. We were just in a rush, hurry. They said the counters are closing, the counters are closing. In the end, we were the last set of people to get on the flight. When I got into the airplane, I was sweating all over. I was fanning myself. We really ran into the airplane, and I was surprised to see people seated and the plane was full. I was wondering, when did these people get into the airport? Because all of us, I assume, have been outside the gate. Due to the nature of how we got into the plane, my camera was inside my bag because passing these airport checks, I usually put my camera, my phone into the bag so I don't misplace it. I threw in my bag into the cabin, so there was nothing to film. In fact, I lost interest in vlogging. Thank God we made it to Abuja. And we made it right on time for our 2 p.m. flight to Cairo. If you ever have to leave Nigeria from the cities where there are no international airports, please make sure you are in those cities a day before, or you're in that city where you're leaving Nigeria from a day before. My husband suggested we leave for Abuja a day before, and I was like, oh no,
Wait, Jana.
don't worry, we'll always be fine. Never do that. And if you read reports on X and Facebook, that's Twitter, you see people complaining of how Nigerian airlines can disappoint you, delay your flight even without notifying you. Always leave a day before. Well, finally, we are now on Egypt Air heading back to Cairo, and it feels so good because honestly, I couldn't imagine missing 3 other flights. I mean, 4 flights. Miss the Port Harcourt to Abuja, miss Abuja to Cairo, miss Cairo to Jeddah, miss Jeddah to Jizan. Guys, just imagine it. We're talking millions of money here, and if it's in naira, millions of naira and thousands of Saudi riyals. It wouldn't have been funny, guys. In all, I just thank God this whole thing worked. And at this point, I had changed my clothing. As you can see, I was no longer wearing what I was wearing before. This is the only journey where I had to change clothing. My kids also had to change their clothing as well. So this journey has just been one of a kind. Here is the food for Egypt Air economy in-flight meal. We have rice, chicken, some stir fry, potato salad, and dessert. I love the meals. It tasted good. Everything was good apart from the juices. I didn't take any of that because I didn't want so much sugar. I'm already battling the rice and every of the carbs here. Well, it was good and the journey was smooth. I'm grateful to God we didn't get to miss our flight. That is just my happiness because paying from my pocket, my husband and I wouldn't have found it funny because this cost millions of naira getting on flights, even booking the flights, trying to get flights for the 6 of us, trying to get the seats. Guys, to book flights, to get your flights in Saudi Arabia, ask people, especially if it's a family ticket, when you people are more than four, to get the flights. Oh my goodness, a lot of calls, a lot of mails, a lot of messages flying left and right is actually draining. I'm speaking for myself. We're a family of 6, so getting a ticket for more than 6 people because you have to pay a difference for 2 people is actually much. Now here is Saudi, and I have this hummus. I have that olive wrapped leaves, the tomato, and some flatbread. I love this dessert. I love this so much. But it has some sugar in it, but it tastes so good. We have some apple juice and rice again, guys. Funny enough, this beef rice tastes so good and it has raisins in it. It really tastes good. I love it. Well, that is it for the in-flight meal for Saudi. Basically, that is just what we ate on this trip. And at this point, my battery fell flat. Well, it feels so good to have some rest and, bathroom check. Here am I trying to form my inner Beyonce. We normally check in our luggage from point A of the journey to the final point of the journey. But because we stopped over at Jeddah to deliver a package, we stopped our luggage here in Jeddah instead of the luggage moving to Jizan. The major contents in the bags are food stuff, but right now we had to box them. We found out that in Jeddah we can't travel with these bags, rather you have to box them. So guys, this is another hassle. All in all, it felt so good being back into the kingdom. Oh, I finally realized how much I love Saudi Arabia. Guys, I love Saudi Arabia so much with all my heart, and I pray for the peace and prosperity of this country. Thank you guys for watching, and if you made it to this point, click the subscribe button. Have a beautiful day and stay tuned for my food content.